Hello and welcome to the channel. Right, we've got a bit of a problem here.
Hello, welcome to the channel. Thank you, bastard.
Right, the problem is that this kindling has been outside, slightly damp. So let's see if we can see what we can do. So unfortunately,
Hello, welcome to the channel. Shut up, who said that?
you're really welcome to everybody. Oh! So it looks like Scott Jones finally caught up with me. He's got to get some aerial. He'll probably put aerial footage of where I am on. So I'm not sure we're going to get away with hello. I'm not sure we're going to get away with without using firelighters. The reason is that kindling is it was lying outside, and yeah. Could you not have found one that was dry underneath a pile or something? What I'm talking about is, what are you talking about? I don't know. I was out the day I went outside dressed like this. Yeah, but this is the stuff that I came up with. This, I had to get the axe out. But it's quite a weird morning out there. It's all sort of overcast. Well, no, it's not overcast. No, it's not. It's foggy. It's not overcast. It's foggy. It looks sort of like a nice morning, but obviously the temperatures are below freezing. Do you know what? It'd be a good idea probably to go for a walk, actually. It's not going to go, look at it. Struggling there with the fire, right? Struggling. It's because that kindling's damp. Oh my god, firelighting session's turning out to be a total colossal cock-up. Oh dear. Oh no. You're going to have to use a firelighter. Why don't you just use one? Ugh. Why don't you just use a firelighter? Why don't you just use one? So we're using a form of newspapers, but then that's the same difference, isn't it? That's the same as using a firelighter. So, I mean, I don't get that many newspapers, like, but, well. Let's see if it's going to go this time. Come on, surely it'll go this time. Is it going to go? I can hear it crackling. The moral of the story is don't use damp kindling. Yeah. Fuck it, we're going to have to use fire later. Okay. Firelighters, here we are. Firelighting session is a disaster today because of damp kindling. Bad preparation. Oh, I've just went. Right, it's going to go this time. God, a disaster. What a fucking disaster this has been. Oh. I'll have to sort some kindling out today. Well, I have sorted some out. I need to. Yeah. Well, that's definitely going now, isn't it? Ain't no doubt about that. There's one of these daft women connected to one of the log burner pages. I wish people would stop posting the stuff about the wood burners cause lung cancer and everything like that. That type of scaremongering thing. I wish it's like even sort of posting it and the sort of let's discuss this. You know, and it's like if you're on a Tesla page, there's plenty of evidence against Teslas. But if you're into them and you enjoy them and you're a fanatic or anything like that, good luck to you, you know. I don't want to, you know, leave them to it. Well, I mean, apart from the subsidies and everything, but, I mean, it would be better to, you know, so log burner page, is scaremongering. So, yeah, you can get lung cancer off a log burner. Equally, you can get, you know, there's lots of things you can get off lots of things in the modern world. You know, it's very difficult to avoid all risk. You know, that's what really we're talking about with this, is risk. It's all about risk. You know, you're never going to avoid the risk. Never. You know, so. You're never ever going to avoid risk. Never. You're never ever going to avoid risk. So it's part of the war on humanity, and you know, the war on humanity is on, and it's going to be happening. Unfortunately. So I need to sort out some well, I'm not going to be able to do anything today because I've got to go to that Christmas lunch at 1 o'clock. So I've got to be there for 1:45. Right, I think we're talking now, aren't we? I have got potential kindling. I haven't got around to doing it. But that kindling that I did bring in will dry out, so I'd probably better putting that down in the hearth. Yeah, that's what I should do with that. Put it in the little thing and let it dry out. So I don't suppose it's going to dry out in the actual... It is quite damp. Yeah. It's not surprising, really. It's not surprising. It's all damp. So I need to get get it all sort of dried out. Oh God. My main mistake this morning, we all make mistakes in the mornings, don't we? My main mistake was that I have got wood in the house. I should have taken that outside and chopped it up for kindling. Dry stuff. Then we would have got it going without firelighters. So, pretty dumb this morning, eh? So we're definitely going now. Firelighting session. Ugh. Ugh. Look how it's died off on the left hand side. It's definitely going now though, there's no doubt about that. Now I've got no paper, is it? Now, because I've used it all, haven't I? Well, most of it. Right, so yeah, that was like, what the hell did you do that for? Why didn't you use the wood from in the house? Well, because it wasn't really perfectly suitable kindling material, that's why. It was dry though, it'd have been better than using damp pine, wouldn't it? So there's always going to be something that somebody can point out. So they're doing a war on humanity. Certainly they're doing a war on log burners as a survival method. And so say there's they put all these wind farms and solar farms, battery facilities, they all fail, and it's illegal to have a log burner. You're going to be cold, all for what? So the main consensus of opinion, there's a lot of people are stupid, of course, but we need to fight back with this shit. And if everybody stood up to the tyranny at the same time, what would they do? Like say, right, we're not paying our council tax, or we're not, I don't know, something like that, or we're not paying anymore. Like if you said, right, you're not going to pay income tax, well that would be difficult, wouldn't it? Because it's not you that actually, you know, well, if you work for a company, they take it out of your pay, don't they? But if we all stood up and said, no, this enough's enough, we're not funding your wars, we're not funding your we're not making your net zero pals in China. Well, no, it's the Chinese are making all that equipment, but who's getting rich off it? Miliband's pals. And he's going to land up probably getting shot or something, I would think. Yeah. It would probably be a good thing if that happened. Yeah. Wow, look at that. It's going now, isn't it? Right, it's definitely going. Definitely going. So we can shut it down. Shut the door. Let it catch on. There's not really. Ooh, this is just a fire lighting session. It's not a journal update. Well, not really. Oh God. So let's get sorted out. Oh. I talk about a lot. I talk about people I meet and everything on these videos, and so occasionally they catch up with me, or they'll watch so I think I'm probably unaware of exactly how many people are watching these videos. I'm sort of feeling that it's not that many, you know. So, but it's just hard to tell, really, isn't it? It's like so. I've got a pal, I'll go and say things about him and then he'll say, oh, you were talking about me again. Aye. So it can be a wee bit embarrassing sometimes. But, so I just get everything out. Everything's on the videos. Well, not everything, but most of it. Not everything. Oh God. So I'm going to have a shower because I'm going to that, well, because I didn't have one yesterday. I went straight out to chop up logs yesterday morning. And I also discovered that they are difficult to chop up when they're frozen. Yeah. So we've decided we're going to buy these like wheelie bin stores to keep the logs in. So that's the other thing that needs to be done. But see if you need something like, well, you can just go and buy it, right? But also, you could get it for nothing. Like, depends what it is. You just keep looking, you'll get it for nothing. So I got my computer desk for nothing. It's got a bookshelf in it, and I got a little cabinet as well, an office cabinet. I picked up a colour telly. So, you know, the reality is it's not for nothing. It costs you money to get there. But but then again, this is down to transportation costs. You know, this applies to everything. We all pay for it. Yeah. World is full of dangers. What the hell's she talking about now, silly cow?
Lassie she was dubbed. So I think people are surprised that he was accused, innocent as you say, until proven guilty, could be attractive, but just goes to show evil can look in any shape, form or colour.
Yeah, he just reminded me. A friend of mine contacted me about a month ago, and he said, "What do you think I should do?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was asked to work in a museum, like all about serial killers, where people visit and people that love serial killers. It was in London, and he didn't want to do it because he thought too many weird people would want to go to a museum.
There you go.
Some people do like, but obviously he's innocent at the moment, but some people that have been charged with crimes like that.
Paula, can we talk about Sarah Jessica Parker? And just like that, from Sex and the City, she's become a Booker Prize judge. What gives her the qualification to be a book?
Well, I think you're going to be surprised because I was like, what does she know about that? But apparently she's published 168 books.
Oh my god, yeah, so there you go, yeah.
I was very surprised. And most people just know her from Sex and the City. I've never watched Sex and the City, but obviously I know her from there. And she's also a TV producer. I had no idea. So she actually does have the credentials because
So it was dark when it got up, now it's not dark.
it's a great role.
There's too much junk in this house. It's becoming a hazard. What fucking shite are you on about now?
And I read the story inside the paper. It said that romantasy, which is the romantic fantasy genre, has become Spotify's top audiobook of 2024. It's called Court of Thorns and Roses. Has anyone read it around the table? No. It was a fantastic quote that they gave, which is about
One thing, if you get a log burner, you're going to spend your whole life sweeping up, but what I've decided is that I really find that carpets are not suitable. Right, that's the sweeping up done. I mean, that Stammer's a criminal. Like, definitely a criminal. I mean, your politicians are criminals, but Stammer takes the biscuit. He's an animal, that guy.
Especially through the centre belt, around Glasgow, for example, as well as western parts of Northern Ireland.
I think we should get them and have them prosecuted for crimes against the people.
It might not clear into the afternoon, so staying cold and with poor visibility lingering. Meanwhile, England and Wales, cloudy skies, generally 6 to 8 Celsius in the afternoon. Winds and winds along the south coast, winds blowing into southern England, especially parts of South Devon and into Cornwall.
Some of the winter stuff that's here, you're constantly sweeping up, and the sawdust is the worst thing. You know, that's the worst thing. Sawdust.
England and Wales, meanwhile, largely cloudy skies remaining, and as a result, that gradual frost fog-free with temperatures dipping to 3 or 4 Celsius. We keep the showery rain across parts of South Devon and Cornwall. Another area of showery rain pushes into East Anglia, parts of the East Midlands, North East England. Otherwise, for many it's a dry Saturday day on Thursday, again
Sawdust. Constantly. So there's sawdust everywhere.
it's a grey day with loads of cloud expected across eastern parts of England and outbreaks of rain and shower occurring. Meanwhile, temperatures staying at or around freezing across some colder parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland. Further south.
God's sake. That's part of the driveway, that stone. So it was dark when it got up and now it's not dark. Right, so it's 24 minutes to light the fire. Oh God. That's quite long, isn't it? Right. So can we turn it down now? Yeah. So I've laid that down there. That'll dry out. I mean, this stuff here, I should have chopped some of that up instead. This is dry. That's a sawdust. It gets everywhere. It's amazing how it gets out of the thing. So this is the end of this fire lighting session. I usually, well, in order to get it properly, like set, like going, it'd take about an hour, wouldn't it? Before it gets like red. I don't know if anybody wants to watch that for so long, you know, why would they want to watch that? Well, you could. Probably is videos, people watching fire. Probably is. Right, so I'm going to go and get sorted out. I wonder if I've got time for a walk. I've got time for a walk. It's nearly 9 o'clock. I think we might have. Might have time for a walk. So many things I've been trying to do this week. The mini hitting the clock is the most striking thing that's happened. I need to get into the art studio and start working on that. So I'm trying to get. So I think it's a good thing at my age that I have got such a jump, that I have got so much to do. You know, I mean, it's like you have to create it for yourself, I suppose. You know, people that don't have anything to do. You know, I've constantly got stuff to do, and it's like I don't have much time to not do anything. This time of year, well, what are we? A week before Christmas, is it? Or what is it? I don't even know what it is. You know who my brother's like? I've just been talking about my brother. It's his birthday in a couple of days. He's like Keir Starmer. My brother.
Yes, they've dubbed the Prime Minister Starmer the farmer harmer, and up to 300 tractors expected in Westminster today. But the government.
My brother is a little bit like Keir Starmer. Yeah, that kind of sort of passive aggressive. No, not passive aggressive. He's not passive aggressive. No, that's the wrong one. That kind of veiled narcissism. No, he's not even narcissistic, really. Well, this is really hard to explain. It's the evil qualities that are like under tarpaulin, but they're not really. Well, no. What I mean, it's like what's a metrosexual? So it's a man that's a heterosexual. They're not gay, but they're not really masculine either. Because in the current, to be yourself and be masculine as a man would be difficult. So what he does, my brother, is he manages to fit in the family hierarchy by not really standing up for anything. So he'll do, like a lot of people, maybe I probably do this, but it's like he'll stand up for all these causes that he's no control over, like the rainforest or something like that. And a bit like Just Stop Oil types. well, the hypocrisy as well, being wealthy, because he's wealthy. My brother is wealthy, yeah. So, but he's sort of thinks he's a socialist, but I don't know if he thinks he is or not, or does he actually say he's a socialist? So he believes in all these principles, or he seems to by the words that he's uttered in the past. And I did tell him that he was wealthy, but we were amongst the wealthy in the in the global hierarchy, and he really wasn't. Well, he's actually wealthier than I am, on account of his wife actually, who is very high up the competence hierarchy, and they deserve it. Yeah, of course they do. But that goes against socialist principles. It's like. So I suppose we've all met people like that. That superficially. So it's really because they're trying to sort of fit in and not be seen to be greedy or something. There's some kind of distortion of that, of the wealth procurement. Or if he doesn't want to be wealthy, but it just sort of happened anyway. So there's things that he didn't do that he should have done, which would have been exactly masculine, but it would have been the right thing to do. And because it was easier not to do the right thing, he opted for not doing the right thing, which was often in his case, people like him, they don't really have to do anything, so they can just sort of just do nothing, and then that's them fine, they're in the clear. But they're not in the clear. That's the issue, because I know he didn't do what he should have done. And that was in the interests of a certain person. But he couldn't cope with the vitriol. The vitriol which would have came his way if he'd stood up. And he should have done it, and he didn't do it. And that's why. But I'm comparing him to Starmer's probably not. I mean, Starmer does his survival techniques, like these politicians do that. They'll just do whatever's best for them. But unfortunately, the result you have with the likes of Starmer is that it's all short-term political goals in order for him to survive. I don't think anybody's ever going to like him. But does he care? I don't know. So what I'm really talking about is the sort of being popular. So I'm very unpopular in that I don't have a family around me or people that I support network. Well, I do. It's a very small one that I do have. That I'm not related to them. So the camera's getting hot. So I'm out with the family that I was born into. There's no support network for me there, and that's because they're a bunch of cunts would be because they're a bunch of cunts might be one way of putting it. But so he fits in with that because he doesn't rock the boat. So he's at what the psychiatrist told me when I seen the psychiatrist was that I have an overpowering mother, an ineffective father, and that's the way for the males to survive in some of these family structures, to survive unscathed. But because I couldn't capitulate to the hypocrisy, I was just naturally rejected from them, and that was because of female power structures, and I see that all the time. That group that I go to, there's a woman there who doesn't accept that a man can be a woman, and that's a lot of people are like that, or a woman can be a man. And a lot of that you really need to think. You really need to think hard about what does that mean. What is a woman? Because that's a different word from female. And basically what happens, you'll end up stepping on the toes of the feminists when you, upsetting them. when you start talking women, because if you look at, there was a definition of woman in Google, they might have changed it by now, but it was a wife. That's what it means. So can a man be a wife? Well, yeah. It's you know, you get males marrying each other. Well, that became legal. They can't have children. They can't produce children, obviously. That's the whole problem. So it's a problem when you capitulate to minorities. So then feminists are a minority. Females aren't a minority, but feminists are. So mainstream feminism crept in. So this is what am I exactly talking about? Well, the inability to do the right thing, and it's easier to not do it, and that's really what he did. And he might get back to me. He might eventually watch one of these videos. I don't know and hear me talking about him, but I don't believe I'm saying anything that's not true, and I'll stand by what I say. I mean, you have to stand up and be counted, and at the end of the day, people are cunts, is what I'm saying. And my family's got its fair share of them, you know, and they're a product of their own environment, and they'd sort of got me in a certain way, and that's that, you know. So I'm of this family structure. Well, who are none of them? Not even well. The only one that really talks to me is my daughter, the youngest one. Well, my other daughter died, but I mean it's the youngest child, my youngest child. But again, they've been ostracised as well for various reasons. But I think it's just about being a decent person, and most of them are not decent people. They are not. They were power mad, tyrannical maniacs. But then back to my brother, he's not like that. He just sort of like fits into that by not rocking the boat, and he's done some really horrible things to me. But they're in a sort of really, they're not like overly horrible. They're just discreet rejection. You know, like he really is a fanny. I hope he watches this. He won't give a fuck anyway. He's a fanny. You know, it's like that. A total fanny, aye. I mean, a lot of us are a product. The family that I come from, we are abuse victims. We were abused, so it affected us different ways. You know, our dad couldn't really protect us. He wasn't strong enough to protect us from mum. She was straight. She should have been a straitjacket. Yeah. But I mean, he did his best to cope with her. A lot of it, he capitulated to a lot of the shite. But like being a good Protestant, he stood up and was counted when it really mattered. So I think that's really what I've just got to hear. That my dad, something up there, he stood up to be counted when it really mattered. So it was a case of something like, we're going to do something. No. You know, that wouldn't have happened that often. So maybe that's what I'm talking about here. And there was an element of that with my brother, actually, in some ways. That I think generally he just sort of followed what he cared about. So he wasn't going to stand up for anyone, least himself. So comparing him with Starmer. Starmer is a piece of shit. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I don't think, how many people are going to argue with me that Keir Starmer's not a piece of shit? He is a total piece of shit. Boris Johnson's a piece of shit. I actually supported Boris Johnson. I feel such a fool. And he's the one that decided that we would go net zero and everything. Now look at the Conservative Party. It could be that they'll never survive. You know, the Reform Party is going to take over, and I hope it does. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit here. I think the fire is going, so that let's get it down to. We'll turn it down. There. Now that'll stay on. It's nearly red. It's nearly red, but that's taken 40 minutes. 40 minutes of me rambling about my relatives. We could call that rambling about relatives. Now, I'd like to put that caveat, after slagging them off for so much, I'll just say that, you know, he's not the worst person I've ever met in the world, you know. I think a lot of it, if you don't do anybody any harm, like what he's kinda done, well, he has done harm, but he's done it in a more sort of passive way, then it doesn't put you in the clear is the problem. You know, because you should have stood up. And there was one thing that he should have done and he didn't do it. And I don't know why he didn't do it, and I was always trying to work out if there was something that I didn't know about. But I think the reality is he just couldn't be arsed standing up to tyrannical nutter. Somebody who's low on the competence hierarchy, couldn't really get much lower. Just a half-wit, dumb bastard. And it's all, the chickens are going to come home to roost. And I think that's why the resentment for me, there is an element of resentment for me because I got away for her. I think that could be, like, secretly he'll resent that fact that he has to, because I got alienated so badly, and I was treated so badly that I had to get away from her. I'm talking about my sister here. That I, like, got away from her and never went back. That was in the scenario that we were in. And I blocked her on Facebook, and so there's no way she can get to me. There is ways that they can get to you. Narcissists do that, but he's sort of still stuck with her, isn't he? So that it could be there's a resentment that I'm free from it because I got away from it and I walked away. I didn't go back. I left a lot of stuff that was mine because it wasn't. So the similar things happened to me and my children. The first lot. My granddaughter, I can't see my granddaughter. It's not because I don't want to see my granddaughter. It's because the hoo-ha and objections and the dirty tricks and the bad behaviour and the nastiness and all that stuff would be too much for me to cope with, and too much for, well, my son, granddaughter. So that's why. So if anybody's watching this going, why did you not? Why haven't you tried to see your granddaughter? Well, firstly, because you didn't tell me that I've got a granddaughter, would be the first thing I would say to my son, which you should have done. And the reason you didn't do that is because you didn't want me having anything to do with her. So that's because, and the reason you don't want me anything to do with her is because you're also a fanny as well. You are not a man. You are not masculine. You have not grown up to be a man because you equally are scared of these tyrannical women that are low in the competence hierarchy, but wield this strange power, or attempt to, and they don't deserve it, because they haven't worked for it, they've stole it, you know, and so that will come as some kind of problem at some point. I think I've been rambling on a bit too much here. It's 44 minutes we're in this, so I'm going to go. The fire is red, so it's taken 44 minutes to get it to go red, right? So that's it. It should have been like half an hour if I had dry kindling, or I should have chopped up some dry stuff instead.